Hey everybody, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I will be showing you how to make homemade salsa. For this recipe, you will need 1 large onion, 1 lime, 1 bell pepper, 1 jalapeno pepper, 6 mini sweet peppers, preferably 2 in each color. You will need some Roma tomatoes. Usually 6 will do, but since mine are kind of small, I will be using 8 of those today. You will need cilantro, that's optional, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, and of course, salt and pepper. To begin prepping the lime, I find it is much easier if you give it a good roll on your countertop before you cut it. This really loosens the juices and helps make it a lot easier to squeeze. You will notice that I am using 2 bowls for my salsa. Half of my family likes cilantro, the other half does not, so I always split my recipe in 2. Half of the lime in one bowl, half in the other. If you're making just 1 large bowl, put the whole lime in there. Now it's time to prepare our garlic cloves for mincing. Again, remember, if you are separating yours like I am doing, you will need to set half of your garlic aside for one of your dishes. Now it's time to add our salt and pepper, and I will be adding 1/2 teaspoon of each to each bowl. Again, if you are making just 1 bowl, then you will want to use a whole teaspoon of each of these spices. Remember, that is absolutely optional. Flavor it to your taste. Now it's time to chop up that cilantro. I am using about 13 sprigs. I'm only putting that in half of my recipe, so if you're putting it in the whole thing, then you will need to double that. I am using a good little palmful for half of mine, so that should give you a good idea of how much to use for the whole thing. Now I'm going to cut up my tomatoes. I'm going to use half of those to begin with. It will just make it easier. Not only that, my food processor is awfully small and will only hold 4 at a time anyway. Now you want to notice how I will be just pulsing these tomatoes. Be careful that you don't overspin those or they will become nothing but liquid. Again, that is optional. We like our salsa a little more chunky. If you like it a little more liquefied, then of course you can pulverize them even more. Make sure you stir in between every step to go ahead and allow those flavors to begin melding together. Once again, you will notice that I am setting half of my onion aside. If you are making 1 dish, obviously you will want to go ahead and cut the whole onion, and the same with the bell pepper. Again, you will notice that I am going to lightly pulse those vegetables. This still is dependent just upon your preference, and look how beautifully minced those vegetables are. Again, you will notice I'm only using half of my peppers. If you are doing the whole recipe, use them all. I wanted to show you that inside of these mini peppers, there is usually very few seeds. I opt to leave my seeds in. Just remember though, the heat of all peppers, even sweet peppers, is in the seeds. So if you want a more mild salsa, you will want to avoid all the seeds. We're going to cut half of our jalapeno pepper and set it aside. This time you will notice that the jalapeno has a lot of seeds, and that is where all the heat lies. Be very careful when adding those pepper seeds, because if you get too many, you might have a very fiery salsa. It's all up to you. I am going to put about 3/4 of the seeds into each side of my dish. Now we're just going to simply pulse those again. You will notice how beautiful and bright these colors are. That is a sign that a dish is very healthy for you. Go ahead and set that in your refrigerator for about 4 to 6 hours, allowing those flavors to really meld together. And there you go, a nice homemade salsa. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.